Now, can you report to? Can you record to the cloud?
Yep.
Okay. All right, we can start letting people in anytime. Thanks, Terry.
Okay.
Make sure they come in muted, Terry, please.
Oh, you already did that. That's water.
All right. John Reyes is still in the waiting room, but it says he's joining.
He keeps saying it's joining, so
Actually, Terry, I'm here.
so I'm not sure why we've got your other one here joining.
Don't know. But you can get rid of, if you can
Get rid of it.
cancel out, go ahead.
Yeah, it won't let me get rid of you.
You know, you're not the first person to tell me that.
Let it sit there, Terry. John, would it be possible for you to log off and log back in? Would that be a problem?
Sure, I can do that.
Oh, whatever you
think
just
so.
did, got rid of it, John.
Yeah, it disappeared. You're in.
On now, so you're okay.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Oh, yeah. Okay, Steve, it is 12:05. And Phil Meehan is going to do that again.
Yes, okay. Good afternoon, everyone, and I would like to welcome you to our Akron Rotary Club meeting today. It is Tuesday, and it is December 14th, hard to believe. So Christmas is only 11 days away, but I'd like to officially start our meeting. So welcome to the Akron Rotary Club. And at this time, I'd like to call David Hall forward for the invocation.
Thank you, Steve. This is going to be a quick one. So I found online, I'm stealing from Greg Mussel. And he has a little prayer here that's apparently from his daughter's kindergarten class. So it says, if we all say a prayer for each other every day, what a wonderful world this would be. I will ask God to bless you and keep you in his care, knowing you'll do the same for me. That's from the Brook Ridge Day School, Day School. So again, so say a prayer for everybody and hope you say one for me. Thank you.
Thank you, David. And if you would stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, justice for all. And now the four-way test. Is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? And will it be beneficial to all concerned? Thank you, and you can be seated. My apologies for getting started out there in Zoom land a little bit later. We had a board meeting and it ended a little bit late, but thank you for your patience. And so today it looks like Mr. David Miller was our greeter. And so David.
Thanks, Steve. We just had that I'm aware of one guest today, guest of yourself, Steve, Ken Maybaum. Ken, welcome. Anything you'd like to say? I can bring the mic to you. Okay. Thank you for being here. Is there anyone that I'm missing? Any other guests? No? Go visit. No? Oh, online? Sorry. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, David. Much appreciated. It's going to get busy here on out toward the end of the year. We do have our holiday / Christmas party coming up a week from today in this very room. And for all of you sitting out there, and for anybody online via Zoom that would be coming, this is going to look a lot different in here a week from now. We'll be starting at 11:30 and running until 1 o'clock, but we're going to have round tables. Yay. We're going to have linens and china, and we're going to have some really, really good food and appetizers and desserts and wine and some spirits. And there'll be some music. It's not going to be live music, but we'll have some music playing in here as well. And I need your help, those of you who will be coming. Two things. If you haven't already signed up, please go online. There is a link, and I know that I'd seen it. Cheryl had sent out the newsletter and such, and sign up officially online. And we're looking to have somewhere between 40 to 50 people. But the other area with you signing up that I need your help is this. As mentioned, part of the program toward the end with our three hosts, it's going to be Thane and Brian Kima and Nicole Major. They're going to be toward the end sharing some stories of holidays past, Christmas past. And I know everybody has some type of a memory that sticks out for you. And if you would please take the time, I submitted something, but I'd like to encourage you to submit something and write a couple of paragraphs or even a few more paragraphs about a very meaningful holiday / Christmas time in your world. And our three hosts will be sharing that as part of our meeting next week. Additionally, Thursday, we have something coming up. And I'm going to invite Bill Manby Jr. up here to share with us because we missed a year due to COVID. Good afternoon, good sir. Hey.
Up here, do you want me to?
Well, whatever, but
Can't see online.
well, they can see. They should be able to see. But anyhow, thank you for bringing home that Browns victory on
Oh,
Sunday.
yeah, well, they made it hard. I mean,
They did make
about
it
as
hard,
as it
man.
could be.
But hey, we're still in the hunt.
We're in the hunt, yep. So Thursday, as you all know, Super Learning Center, Santa will roll in on the fire truck at 9 o'clock. If you haven't seen that, it's quite a sight to have these kids see. I talked to them today, and the kids are really fired up, obviously, because it's been 2 years since they've been able to see Santa in person. It's flexible as far as timing. We'll be there from 9 to 3-ish. They are going to serve pizza at noon. If we have enough folks there, they will also do a little presentation, sing a couple songs, but they are going to keep the main program for after school because the kids get a little worked up. So it's better to do it at that point. But I assure you, if there's nothing else you do during the holiday season, this day will change your life. These kids are remarkable. What Rotary does is remarkable. We have something very special planned for them this year. We mentioned it a couple weeks ago, but we are going to get them some bubble tubes for their sensory room. So for any of you who would like to contribute to that project, as little or as much as you want, feel free to contact me, or you can reach out to Steve, he'll get it to me. So we know we're getting at least one, depending on the budget, we might get them two. Right now they have one, but it's all the way up on the 3rd floor, so it's tough for their littles, the younger ones, to get all the way up there when they're having issues. So they're really excited about that. We're going to present that to them Thursday as a gift from Rotary. So anybody interested in supporting, I know one of the things we did this year was have the Salvation Army drive supported by the kids out at Talmadge at North. So this is sort of our club project. Anything else? Right. Other thing while I'm up here, Thane, if you could come up here real quickly. As many of you know, Thane is my co-chair in our Rotary International Foundation, and one of our big pushes is to get Paul Harris Fellow. So Thane doesn't know this, but I have his Paul Harris Fellow +3 pin for him today, courtesy of Cheryl's great work.
Thank you. I just paid for this, by the way.
So very quick turnaround. So
Yeah, I
thanks.
know.
Thane's done a great job. Again, we presented a couple weeks ago. We've had tremendous feedback. We do promise each and every one of you that we will get a summary out to you as to where you stand by the end of the year. So thanks.
Thank you, Justin. Yep. And I'm sorry I have to leave. My kid has a flat tire, so.
Well, good luck with that flat tire then. Thank you. Thank you. And God bless Bill Senior and Bill Junior. Their involvement at the Super Learning Center is beyond 25 years of blessing those kids and blessing those families. And if you've not had the privilege, and it really is a privilege, of attending out there for some part of the day, I really encourage it, because, you know, you think about, we just came through Thanksgiving a couple of weeks ago, and I love that holiday because it's very, very simple, and we can gather around friends and loved ones and just rejoice in being thankful for all the good things in our lives. I will tell you, in visiting the Super Learning Center and experiencing the joy, and I mean the joy, those kids will impact you. It'll touch your heart and really set your heart ready for Christmas and for the holidays. So thank you, Bill. Before we do ambassadors and happy dollars, we need to sing. So we're going to sing happy birthday to this lady right here, Mrs. Cheryl Warren. She's 39 today. And so and Holden. So if you would join me, let's sing happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Cheryl. Happy birthday to you. All right. And a lot of what happens, as you've heard me say before, would simply not happen without her help. And we're blessed, as I've said so many times before, with the depth of leadership that we have in this club, because it's not easy to meet in person and to do online meetings all together at one time, but we're able to do it. So thank you. Any ambassadors, any Rotary ambassadors this last week? And you can let me know out there online if we have any. Laura Smiley.
Hi guys, I was lucky enough to present to the Canton Rotary on Friday on the power of music, but I was able to talk about the Chili Open also, which they were super impressed with, and bought all my tickets afterwards. So that was spectacular. So those raffle tickets are sold. But the Canton Rotary is doing some really interesting things. They meet on Friday afternoons at one of the churches in downtown Canton, and it was a really nice group of folks. So I was glad to attend.
Well, thank you, Laura. Jack and Vivian.
I attended the Rotary Club of Barberton 2 weeks ago. The school superintendent spoke, and they're doing a great job of getting out and helping the families where the kids are struggling with what's gone on in the remote learning. And then last week, Vivian and I both went to Barberton to hear this Dennis present on the magical theater, and then went to the show. They do a great job there at the magical theater. They're doing a Christmas story right now, and it is a Christmas carol, and it's spectacular.
Fantastic. That was your original club, was it not, Jack?
Yes, it was.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you. As we go to, is there anybody else out there, by the way? Okay. As we go to Happy Dollars today, I think most of us are aware of what's happened in Kentucky and I believe Tennessee as well, and with the tornadoes and the devastation and the loss of life. And I thought maybe what we could do today is to take our Happy Dollars and put our Happy Dollars toward that cause and to helping folks, because that was quite devastating. I mean, here we sit today, it's what, December the 14th, and tornadoes in December, that's an oddity, but you know, things happen. And so who is happy to bless and help others today? Mr. David. I'm gonna let you take this with you.
Thank you, Steve. I am $5 happy. I want to thank David Miller. I hijacked him into reading for me this morning, had a last minute cancellation, so thank you, David. And I am also looking for a few more indicators and greeters for the rest of this year, and I will be sending out for the first quarter of 2022 shortly. So if you're interested in doing either indicating or greeting, please see me, and I hope you get signed up. So who else is that? Any more?
Okay, so I'm $5 happy dollars. It's been a hot minute since I've been here, so it's the first time I've come back in person to this. As I told my husband today, if I'm comfortable enough to go to the consumer to get a cocktail, I should be comfortable enough to come to this meeting without a mask. So really happy to be back. Happy birthday to my friend Cheryl, who over this past year of being virtual, that we've gotten even closer than we were before. So happy birthday to my friend there. Another $1 is I get my baby grandson overnight tomorrow night, which we are just starting to get to know each other again. So that's pretty awesome. And more importantly, in the middle of January, I'm going to have an empty nest again after 4 or 3 years since everybody had to move back home because of COVID. My youngest daughter moved back to Florida. My older daughter bought my mother-in-law's condo. And so Tim and I are going to have an empty nest again, hopefully by mid-January. So that's super happy.
Good. Who else is happy? Cheryl.
So that I can get this right. Thank you, David. I'm going to give 15 happy dollars. One for Katie being here. It's so great to see you. One for my nephew, my great nephew, who was finally born, Miles. My niece had to be induced, and she wasn't too happy that she had to have a C-section, but he said, "Don't think you want to push a 10-pound baby through 3 centimeters." So yeah, she just went dilate, but everybody's healthy, and that's what's important. And the rest just goes to the cause. Thank you.
Thank you, Cheryl. Karen?
I have $5 happy dollars. I sent it to Steve and Cheryl so they get the newsletter, but Malcolm Costa, who is one of our members, he was inducted in the Senior Citizens Hall of Fame on Friday through Direction Home. So that's kind of exciting.
Good. Anybody else happy? Doug Kohl?
Is $5 simply because of the cause that President Steve has generated, but also because my granddaughter was just cast in the musical The Wiz at Miller South, She's second generation Miller South. My oldest daughter was in the first class of Miller South back in 1992 or whatever that was. So that's cool.
Doug, David Miller.
Thank you. I have $3 happy. Two of them, I'm sure you could guess, is for raffle tickets. Thank you for everyone that keeps turning them in. I know that Grover and myself we're gonna go visit some of those larger clubs back in person and try to get some ticket sales. If any of you in any way through personally, business ventures, anything, want to help out and think of unique ways to get ticket sales this year, we would greatly appreciate it. So please reach out to me. And then the other $1 is for Doug Kohl, who was an official at my daughter's swim meet on Saturday, and he did not DQ her. She didn't deserve to be DQ'd, but I did say don't DQ my daughter. So thank you.
Who else is happy? Redmond.
Right, it comes included with the. I wanted to give $20 happy today, because this is my last official appearance as your Rotary Foundation president. So I've been honored to serve as many years as I have. As Stan said, when I walked in today, oh, I heard you're turned off. So that it does happen. You kind of grow into these things, as you say. So it's been an honor, and most of the money obviously goes to that cause, because I've been seeing text the Red Cross, it's our way to get back to those in Kentucky and around that are having a really hard time. Thanks.
Thank you. That's Michael.
Well, I am really happy that my child, who's in her sophomore year at the University of Pittsburgh, has finally settled on a major. She's studying clinical psychology, so that makes me happy, and I'm happy that we're supporting the people in Kentucky and Tennessee.
Very good. That's a great feeling when they decide what they're gonna do. Anybody else? I know. I'll work my way over to you, then we'll go with Michael Gladys first. $5 for the cause and for Cheryl's birthday, of course, too. Happy birthday. Michael just updated his wallet. Thank you, Michael. Amanda.
Jeff Cheeks just wanted me to remind you guys, he put a challenge out there a few weeks ago about bring a new sponsor to the Chili Open at the holiday party. So if it's a new sponsor, $1,000 or more, you stand a chance for a $250 gift card. So great in time for the holiday shopping, whatever you want to do. Just a reminder, you couldn't be here today, so it's Chili Open time. Put your thinking caps on, bring in people that they haven't met before, and we can show them a good time at Chili Open.
Thank you, Amanda. Dan O'Connell.
Yeah, no need for really any announcements. It's just such a good cause. I figured I better give a little bit of money.
Thank you, Dan. Anybody I missed? Oops, Mela.
Hi, I have $4 happy for the cause, but I also wanted to quickly after the meeting, if you're on the Chili Open committee, if you could just stop by. We're just going to have a very quick huddle. We had a phonathon yesterday. Unfortunately, we didn't have anybody show up, so I have your call sheets for you. So thanks. And we are 52 days away from the Chili Open.
Thank you, Mela. Anybody else? Last call?
Thank you, my brother. All right, I also have $5 here, and I want to give it, one of those is just to say hello to Ken Maybaum and coming out to visit today as a guest. Additionally, it is good to see you, Katie Miller. We were beginning to, we were having a hard time. What does she look like? No, but it's great to have you back. And then lastly, Jim Redmond, thank you for all of your faithful service with the foundation. And that's where I really got to know Jim in serving on that board for a few years. And You talk about, he's all the way through, tried and true. He's a Rotarian in every which way. And his service was really exemplified in what he did in leading the foundation. And you heard me when I shared about the annual meeting. I was talking about the three-legged stool and the relationships between club, camp, and foundation. And really, it's never been better as far as our oneness, and it's even increasing all the more. But he plays a big part in all of that because his heart is for every aspect of who we are. And if you think about it, we are somewhat unique. I don't know that much about other clubs beyond our district, as it were, but I'm not aware of anybody that is privileged and blessed to have something like what we have with the camp and a foundation and a club. And we've only just begun, like Karen Carpenter saying, some 35 or more years ago, in that our best days lie ahead. And during our board meeting, we were talking briefly about who we are. We are Rotary. And I asked Thane, because Thane lives in Talmadge. And if you've ever been out to Talmadge, that Rotary is something. And we were trying to figure out how many roads go in and out of the Talmadge Rotary, and we settled on it's 8. And quite honestly, if you take a look at our club and the touches and the reaches we have and the ones we're yet to have, we have a lot to receive and a lot to give. And we live in an incredible city, and there are many wonderful things that are happening here and now. And I think you believe, as I do, that our best days lie ahead. And as we build that synergy and as we prefer one another, we're going to see some incredible things happen. We have 2 more happy dollars. And who might that be from?
Yeah, I'll read Chris Richardson's happy dollar. He says, hello, I am on my microphone on my laptop isn't working for some reason, but I'm donating 5 happy dollars. I am happy for God's grace and his mercy. This has been such a challenging year with family health issues, but everyone has overcome nonetheless. I am also happy that my daughter got accepted into grad school at Kent State University, a master's of public health. Lastly, my wife and I celebrated our 24th wedding anniversary yesterday. Congratulations, Chris, and thank you.
Yep. Great.
Susan Colville Hall says she's happy.
Yes. Hey, yes.
Go.
Okay, yes, I'm $5 happy. I don't know if you can see my shirt, but it's the Rotary Open Doors, because this weekend there were 8 interested candidates to do the Rotary Exchange, and we were at camp. We had training on language acquisition, culture shock, and the 6 B's: be curious, be on purpose, be grateful, be doing. We'll learn the last 2 in January the 30th. So happy for the volunteers, Jacinto and Doug, who cooked our breakfast on Sunday morning. But most happy for the returning exchange students. We had 4 Rotecs who were out in 2018 and 19 who came and helped facilitate. So it was a really, really exciting moment. And I think of all of the Rotarians who are missing not being involved in the excitement of these young people looking to learn about a new culture. The second dollar is the early college. I had an audio, never mind. Anyway, I met the instructor at early college, and she got the information about the exchange. So she's going to distribute that information to early college students. And so hopefully we'll have more interested. Dan Reynolds, friend I met on and discovered that we have several interests that we share. Camp Sanborn in Colorado Springs and Camp Ohio, the 4-H camp where my family's farm is located. And at any rate, so the last thing is that I turned in my Chili Open dollars. So I'm ready.
All right, well, thank you. Quick question, where can we get one of those cool t-shirts?
I don't remember where I got this, but I think it was, well, the last year, I believe it was our district.
They
Meeting.
were given to people who attended the conference last year virtually.
So I missed that.
What is it?
All right, well,
Rotary
thank you.
Opens Opportunities.
I love it. Well, thank you,
Yeah.
Susan, and thank you, Chris, and congratulations, Chris, on all the good news of everything that's going on with your family and 24 years of marriage. So at this time, I would like to call our speakers up to the podium. And I don't know who's going to start, but we have our new incoming president, Doug Kohl, and we have our outgoing president of the foundation. And gentlemen, it's all yours. I'm going to give you one of these just to be safe.
Thanks. And thanks for those comments, Steve. Before Doug and I begin our discussion about your Akron Rotary Foundation, I wanted to share some great news about someone who is as good as anybody I have ever met when it comes to service about self. As you know, the NFL has its Walter Payton Award, and the PGA has its Payne Stewart Award. Make sure I'm looking at the camera right out there in Rotary Land. And beyond, for those two awards, they're both about for people who are making a positive difference in their world. In our club, I'm honored that that award exemplifies a person who truly knows service above self, and that Ambassador of Service Award was named after yours truly a couple of years ago, and I'm truly honored about that. For 2022, our Ambassador of Service Award is going to Dan Riemenschneider. That's right. And I couldn't tell if Dan's beautiful face was out there in virtual land or not, but Dan, congratulations. Especially when I think about Dan's service over the last 5 years on the Rotary Foundation board. I mean, he has been just rock solid. So we will be giving Dan more recognition over the next few months leading up to, you can feel it coming in the air tonight out at the Chili Open, right? Everybody's playing that song. You can feel it, right? Coming in the air tonight. So again, congratulations. In preparing for our presentation on your Akron Rotary Foundation, Doug and I decided to break our story, right, Doug, down into 3 parts. Where we were back in 1992, where we are now, and where we can be in 5 years. But before we do that, I wanted to just mention about Doug, that he's been elected, as you know, as the next president of the foundation. And Doug spent, well, a couple of years before COVID hit, out interviewing over 50 of our members about their willingness to support our mission and trying to help understand what kind of confusion they were hearing between the club, the camp, the foundation, and then Rotary International. So there's a lot going on. So, I mean, you spent a couple of years doing that, right, Doug?
Yeah.
So when you take that, combine it with his amazing service to the YMCA over the past so many years. How many years was that, Doug?
A lot.
A lot.
25.
I think that puts us in a great position to have him as the leader, also helping us write the next chapter in the Rotary Foundation. So Doug, thanks ahead of time for your service above self. By way of background on your Akron Rotary Foundation, the foundation was originally created in 1992, in part to shield potential liability away from the camp and the club, and in part to raise enough money someday, right now, so that the return on the investment could help sustain the operations. The current mission statement of the Rotary Foundation funding the endless impact of the Rotary Club of Akron in our community and beyond. So we came up with that about 4 years ago, working at the foundation. And the strategy developed by the foundation is to grow the assets of the Akron Rotary Foundation in order to grow the Rotary Club of Akron in membership and its impact on the Akron community and beyond. In turn, this strategy should strengthen the support base of the Akron Rotary Camp, both financially with funding from the Akron Rotary Foundation and broadening the base of exposure to volunteers, recognition, and fundraising, both short-term and long-term. The Akron Rotary Foundation is a completely separate entity from the camp and the club since 1992. It exists to support the causes of the Rotary Club of Akron. And the Rotary Club of Akron has supported the Akron Rotary Camp for almost 100 years. The board members on your Akron Rotary Foundation have a fiduciary duty to the foundation. So I mention those things only because over the last 5 years or so, there seems to have been some confusion in the club, in the camp, and the foundation. And as Steve said, I think we're in a great position. We've worked through those challenges to make things more clear. And it is because we have those unique entities of the three-legged stool that our club does face challenges, but through that adversity, I think we always grow stronger, honestly. So the foundation, just to give you a little bit where we've been, before I turn it over to Doug, since 1992, we've had over $3.5 million of grants, and 90% of those have gone to the camp. Two of those breakthrough moments that I remember happened in 2009, 2019. 2009, for those of you who were here, many of you weren't, the foundation challenged after the camp came up with their new grand plan of spending about $3.5 million. The firm that was giving us the advice at that time said, you better raise $1 million, Rotary Club, yourself before you go out to the community and ask them for the other $2.5 million. So the challenge at that time, the foundation committed $300,000 corpus coming out of the foundation if the club would raise $700,000. We did that. We raised $1 million. We went out and asked for the other $2.5 million, plus we raised that. And that was the beginning of that extreme makeover that we all saw at the camp. So think about that collaboration. Only 12 years ago, pinch me, right? I mean, 12 years ago, pinch me that we've done all that in 12 years. Then I remember, I believe, Mel, I'm correct, 2019, there was another strategic ask, another breakthrough moment between the club, the camp, and the foundation. And that's when you were buying some additional land. 17? That's only 4 years ago, right? So at that time, I believe the grant, Mel, was 200,000 at that time. So again, just to remind you of some of the ways that the camp, the foundation, and of course the club has been working together since 1992. Finally, some of the expectations of the Rotary Foundation. If the Rotary Foundation is working well with the camp, we in 2017 put a memorandum of understanding together with the camp. And it said at this time, if the camp finds itself with excess or investable funds, the Akron Rotary Camp will allow the Akron Rotary Foundation to invest those funds. The restricted funds would only be used based on the donor's intent. So I'm pleased to announce everybody that this week we'll be signing an agreement with the camp that will allow the camp to invest an additional $400,000 into your Akron Rotary Foundation. Those dollars obviously being meant for something that's more middle to long term instead of sitting in cash at the camp. Another breakthrough moment in how the three-legged stool is working together. Thank you. So the Rotary Foundation attempts to conduct its business following the Rotary four-way test. Of course, is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? And will it be beneficial to all concerned? It's interesting when I read those and I think about how we operate together between the club and the camp. And it's on those words that I'd like to turn the mic over to your future president, Mr. Doug Kohl. Doug?
Thanks, Jim. I was struck a couple of weeks ago when, and Thane and Bill referred to this, a couple of weeks ago, we had a presentation on the Rotary International Foundation. One of the things that I discovered in those interviews I conducted a couple of years ago that Jim referred to was that in those 70+ interviews that we conducted, everybody knew Rotary International. Everyone knew the Rotary Camp for Children with Special Needs. Hardly anyone really knew about our own Akron Rotary Foundation, our local foundation, wholly separate from those emails you get every month from Rotary International asking you to contribute to the RI Foundation, right? But I think it's also very important for us to understand and start from the beginning and recognize that Rotary is a global community. I'm struck every month when I get a copy of the Rotary magazine. If you page through that and look through that, what an impact Rotary is making in countries like India, in Brazil, in Argentina, in Mexico, in Germany. The impact that this organization has, it's a network of 1.2 million members worldwide. In many communities, it's the organization that is the catalyst for good things happening where there aren't other resources or large nonprofit organizations. Read through that magazine and you will understand when President Steve and others on the Rotary board desire to have an impact in this community, whether it's Kenmore, whether it's 100 Black Men, or any of the other things that we've donated to. Those are the things that we want to move forward with the Akron Community Foundation. If you've ever cruised the website of the Rotary International, you will see incredibly compelling foci. There are 6 of them. And if you've never read them or heard them before, simply put, it's promoting peace, fighting disease, providing clean water, sanitation, and hygiene, saving mothers and children, supporting education, and growing local economies. That's an incredible, those are incredible causes for an international mission statement. And I think the more that our foundation can move going forward to support these kinds of initiatives, we no doubt, we have this unicorn, I always call it our unicorn, the Camp for Children with Special Needs, founded so many years ago to combat the effects of polio, that we can't forget about the other initiatives about making an impact in our community in the areas linked into the Rotary International mission statement. As Jim said, it's interesting going after Jim. Jim and I talked about how we're going to outline our comments, but I was going to mention some of the same things that Jim did, so I can edit my speech in the words of the Baptist pastor. I won't be long. Founded in 1914, our club was the 107th club ever formed in the world, with 31 charter members. Names that you would recognize, names like Fred Albrecht and George Billow, Charles Knight, and Bert Polsky. The foundation provides just a portion of the camp's annual budget, and the remaining funding comes from special events, grants, and fees. And you're all well acquainted with Chili Open. I won't detail too many other things about the founding of the foundation. You heard Jim talk about it a little bit. Today, your Akron Rotary Foundation board is Jim Redmond. He will be everything emeritus. Katie Miller, Mark Krohn, Raymond Lucasa, Julie Brandel, Marsha Holcomb, and me, and Carol Maturano Becker. longtime board member Dan Riemenschneider, and we won't let him get away. He will continue to serve as a special advisor. I want to refer to the card. So one of the outcomes of the interviews that I conducted a couple of years ago was the creation of what I refer to as a cause card. So this cause card is a thumbnail sketch of your Akron Rotary Foundation, not Rotary International, but what we do locally with our foundation. On the front side, and you can find a copy of this on the website if you'd ever like to download it and talk with a friend about the foundation. It mentions the mission that Jim outlined. Since 1994, the Akron Rotary Foundation has contributed over $3 million to the causes that make our community a great place to live and work. And for the first time in our history, our net assets are in excess of $2 million. So you can read the mission on the front, but then flip it over on the back so that you can see what we consider our 4 cause areas: community development, youth empowerment, international understanding, and the Rotary Camp for Children with Special Needs. I think that most of our activities center around these top 3 areas, but I think it's important to note that Rotary Camp will always be a special project of this club and the foundation. It is a unique priority of the Akron Rotary Foundation. This program for children with special needs and their families enjoys favored status with the foundation. I think we picked up that nomenclature from the Knight Foundation. The Knight Foundation, when they left Akron and moved to Miami, Florida, it was Dr. Jerry Austin who made sure that the city of Akron received favored status from the Knight Foundation. Same kind of emphasis for us with the Rotary Camp for Children with Special Needs. However, to be like those clubs around the world in those other countries that I mentioned, to focus on international understanding, youth empowerment, and community development, what can be more important than what we are doing in our neighborhoods in Akron? And can the Rotary Club be a catalyst for future development? Relationships like the 100 Black Men, relationships like the Kenmore Community Development Corporation, those are all important to what the cause of Rotary should be worldwide and in our own community. Jim touched on how many gifts have been awarded, but I thought just in closing that I might list a few of the things that we have actually done. Here are some of the grants that have happened through the power of the 3-legged stool, as it keeps being referred to. The most recent grants from the Akron Rotary Foundation, certainly the camp, but scholarships, COVID-19 relief, youth exchange, Rotary Youth Leadership Academy, the Shoebox Project, the past president's honoraries, Life is No Good No Matter What, Open M, Rahab Ministries, Akron Snow Angels, Akron Urban League, the Boys and Girls Club of the Western Reserve, Chemists Without Borders, Christ Child Society, our own diversity initiative certainly has been a priority of the camp or the club board, the Akron Canton Regional Food Bank, Girl Scouts of Northeast Ohio, Great Trails Scouting, Open M, Rise Against Hunger, Ronald McDonald House, Shelter Care, the Well Community Development Corporation, and World Relief Akron. Boy, I hope this gives you a good perspective of all the things we've been doing behind the scene, and we ought to be able to shout with pride what we have accomplished in this community. This is one of the most active clubs in Northeast Ohio in our district. It's one of the youngest clubs in our district, and it's because of the causes we support. If we don't have a cause, we won't attract younger members and diverse members. And so it's important for us as we move forward with the foundation to keep pushing into new areas. break new ground, bust down barriers, and support this community with every ounce of energy we possibly can. So with that, were you going to close, Jim?
Yes. Thank you for those comments, Doug. Yeah, I just want to remind everybody in this, I don't know how most of you are, but in the last week, I think we've all gotten 5 to 52 amazing year-end please give to us right at home. Man, it's amazing how many lists you're on, but please consider the gift of the Akron Rotary Foundation here at year-end. If you're considering an annual gift or an Akron Rotary legacy gift, consider the Rotary Foundation, and you can actually designate or restrict what you would want your gift to go towards. So such things as, I know, do we have a camp maintenance fund created yet? We have money actually restricted for that, where somebody opened a fund in the foundation for that. Or what about the foreign exchange program? Or what about the Akron Public School scholarships? You could actually create a legacy gift. We would have it in the foundation and we would earmark it for that cause. Or you could just make a general gift and then we're free to use it, right, for the big impact causes of the Akron Rotary Club. So with your help, we can help make the community a better place to be. And with that, Doug and I conclude our comments, and Merry Christmas to everybody out there in Rotary Land.
Does anybody have any questions? Dan? A couple of things. Who invests the money that you that is actually contributed to the club? Is it still Akron Community Foundation?
So thank you for that question, Dan. I'll give that over to Doug. No, I'm just kidding. So currently, Dan, the money is commingled at Akron Community Foundation and over at the Huntington Bank. So out of the a little over 2 million, about 2.1 million, it's about 600,000 invested at Akron Community Foundation and about $1.5 million that's invested in Huntington in different funds. And then approximately out of that 2.1, soon to be 2.5 million because of the large restricted donation coming in from the camp. Of that 2.1, about 1.1 of that is restricted in different ways, designated for the camp, and the other $1 million is unrestricted.
Okay, thanks. And did I get a drift that more money will be gone into other things besides the camp with the new president? Are we going to lean more towards these other areas rather than the camp?
Yeah, so obviously the goal would be if we could raise the assets in our Akron Rotary Foundation, it would raise all boats, right? It would raise the boats for the camp and any other special causes that your club decides to get involved in. We mentioned the neighborhoods, other different things. So yes, I think there's a wave creating some new impactful causes that our club agrees they want to pursue.
I would just add that I don't think it's a rather or an either or situation. It's continue to support the camp the way that we have supported the camp. As Jim said, I think 90% of the over $3 million that has been contributed has supported the camp throughout its reconstruction and rebirth. But we certainly want to additionally impact other areas in our communities.
And just to add to that, Dan, we do have a distribution policy built into the foundation. And those monies that are earmarked for the camp, those are camp monies. So if half of the money was restricted to the camp and the other half was unrestricted, and let's say that number was $50,000 a year, our club would have approximately $25,000 to spend on causes. The other $25,000 goes to the camp, and the camp does what it wants to. So that's approximately where we're at this point. If we had a $10 million foundation, we'd have $500,000 maybe a year, right, to spend not only on the camp but other impactful causes. So that's Doug's goal in the next 3 years.
Karen has a question.
Is it 3-year term?
I don't know if it's a question as much as a comment. Since I started working at the Community Foundation, the idea of planned giving. So people thinking about your estates appreciate stock this year. There's lots of other ways that you can give to the Akron Rotary Foundation, in either place, Huntington or the Akron Community Foundation. But think about it, and Jim, I believe you're a financial planner, right? So like getting a good financial planner that can offset taxes is very helpful, and it's a great way to help.
Thank you, Karen.
Katie Miller.
So, learning a lot about the foundation over the last couple of years and trying to put it in understanding. And I think I just pointed out our club board meeting, the foundation does not just give money to anybody who requests it. We only give money to what the club, the Rotary Club Akron wants. So somebody just can't, send us a letter like they would send to any other foundation, say, hey, this is a cause, I would like you to support it. If the club doesn't support it, and the club doesn't want the money to go there, the money's not going there. I hope that clarifies a little bit. It's not what the foundation wants to do. We just want to help the club do what the club wants to do.
Great comment. Any other questions, comments?
Anybody out on?
Online? Okay, with that, Jim, can you pull a winner for our daily lottery?
And does the winner need to be present?
Yes.
Last three, 809. 809.
Speaker.
Boy, we're pretty good. All right, let's take this on the road though.
You're looking for the joker for a progressive spot. Choose wisely. See it? 6 of spades, you get to keep that.
Oh, I get to keep it.
Yep.
All right. Well, thank you, gentlemen. And Doug, just one small question. Did you say that this particular club was the 107th club in the country? I know we've been around for 107 years. What number did you say we were? I think it was 107.
Yeah, I believe so.
So isn't that interesting? It's a little serendipitous if you think about it. So we've been a club for 107 years and we are the 107th club in the country. So, hey, there's a wonderful collision of providence here. And as we have been talking, things are really beginning to gel in the three components of who we are. And as we continue to honor those relationships, it's going to be really good moving ahead. One last thing, and then I'm going to adjourn the meeting. At your tables out here, and for you in Zoom land, the holiday party, please go online and sign up for that, because last week, everybody in the room basically raised their hand, but it comes down to going online and signing up and paying for it. It is going to be quite an event. And I don't just say that casually. There's been a tremendous amount of work that has gone on behind the scenes, and it's going to be fun. It's going to be classy. We're going to be able to come together, enjoy one another, and take it from there. And by the way, there is no Rotary meeting on Tuesday, the 28th, and then we'll regather in 2022. And Ms. Katie Miller has been keeping up on getting good quality speakers, and so it's all going to be good. So thank you, God bless you, and let me officially adjourn our meeting. Way to go, guys.